Okay people, and welcome to yet another Ashens Ripoff, where today I'm going to be taking like a little thing called a Famiclone, which is kind of like a system that copies the Famicom, and typically you can play Famicom games off it, and thankfully mine is one of these. So today we're going to be taking a look at, if I can get in shot. No, but move that back. Yeah, there we go, the Ultra 8-bit video game. It's also off center, isn't that great? And yeah, so as you can see, the logo is hilariously cheap looking. Actually, the box in general is hilariously cheap looking. As you can see, the console itself is a blatant rip-off of the Nintendo 64. Well, the shell is, at least. It doesn't actually play Nintendo 64 games, but there you go. And well, if we take a closer look at this console, if I dare call it that. Well, actually it is a console because you can play proper games off it. It is the action set, supposedly. I say supposedly because I don't even know if there are any other versions of this console. As far as I'm aware, there isn't. Ultra 8-bit video game. Why did they put video game into the name? I mean, I can understand Ultra as some sort of marketing ploy, and 8-bit because, well, it's 8-bit. But video game, I mean, it makes sense if we said video game player or something like that, but yeah, and I do realise the camera is so shaky, it's worse than the Blair Witch Project, but there you go. Anyway, let's take a look at the claims. We have dazzling 3D graphics, apparently. Although anyone that's ever played an 8-bit game will probably know that the games on here aren't really going to be 3D. That actually reminds me of pull the camera back for a second. It actually reminds me of some sort of Maxivision commercial with Hulk Hogan and several WCW members, where they were like talking about how 3D the graphics on it were, and anyone that's played the Maxi 15 will know that that's completely load of bull. Anyway, we have spectacular colour. I guess it's more subjective than anything. Digital stereo sound, which is another blatant lie, which I will go over in a second. And high-tech controller. Yeah, because we all know this is high-tech. In fact, looking at it, I like this, by the way. This controller looks like it looks like the wire is detached from the actual thing, which shouldn't be really. It just looks stupid. And there's the other bit of the wire, which it is apparently supposed to be connected to, but doesn't look like it. And as you can see, it includes 84 games, because we all love English, and it contains 8-bit console, 2 high-tech joypads, I prefer to call them controllers myself, but that's just me, and a so-called pistol. Yeah, because we all know this is what a pistol looks like. Oh well, looks like we had better open this box. Or rather because you're not actually here. That's just spying on me. And if we open the box, sometime today would be nice. There we go. And so, look a little closer. You get the console itself. As you can see, the Argo logo. A little button here, another button here for the reset. 3 controller ports. 2 for the controllers, 1 for the light gun. There. Yeah. And you also get some stuff on the back for connecting stuff to. You see you have the AC adapter, the audio and video. As you may notice, for the audio there's only a white one, there's only like a white connector and not a red one. You're supposed to have both for stereo sound, and because there's only a white one, I believe sound only comes out the left speaker, I believe. So yeah, the claim of stereo sound is a blatant lie. And funny enough, you have this, which is supposed to be like some sort of RF wire, but it seems to be blocked up, so you can't use it. Obviously, they're just, you know, just modifying molds really cheaply. And of course, you do have the cartridge slot as well, as you'd probably expect. Something tells me the quality of this video is not going to be particularly great, but whatever. And below the console you get this little piece of toilet paper which tells you what games come on it. And funny enough, it says on the top, it says, if you can read it, probably best to switch the light off actually, especially things like 10 AM in the morning. It actually says, actually no, that looks a lot worse. I can't even see it with the camera. Yeah, it actually says push select or stop button on the piece of paper. Could be crazy, but I don't think it'd be compatible with the console. That tends to be what cartridges are for. You also get this other piece of toilet paper telling you how to use the how to like set the machine and such. Kind of useless for me because I already know how. Yeah, two of these controllers. I'm not going to bother showing you the other one because it's the exact same thing as this. This is the A button, this is the B button, turbo A, turbo B. No shoulder buttons, D-pad, select and start. There you go. I'm not going to bother showing you the other one because it's the exact same thing. And the so-called pistol, which is quite blatantly a knockoff of the Nintendo Zapper. Isn't that great? Unfortunately, I can't actually get this thing to work on my TV because it's an LCD one, and when it comes to running Lycan games on the 8-bit consoles, LCD format does tend to suck, as does plasma, so you have to get a CRT TV to get it to work properly. Sadly though, those are being phased out. You get the 84-in-1 cartridge itself, but apparently the Ideas AT101, and it's apparently new. Somebody tells me that is no longer true, in the fact that the console will rip off of the Nintendo 64 design. But there you go. You get an AC adapter, which obviously you'll need to play the console. And one thing that's awesome is that it's actually in the UK format, which means that you don't have to get a plug adapter for it to work. Well, or at least if you live in the UK, of course. I mean, obviously if you live in, well, any other country, you'll probably need it. And you also get the AV cables, which like I pointed out earlier, there is no red one, which means mono sound. Can't really help that. Well, I could, but probably only after like 15 million hours worth of engineering classes, which I'm not going to bother with here. And well, this video is running on really long, so join me in part 2, where I will go over the games themselves. See ya!